Tremonti's Meat and Seafood. I'm coming to you from the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame studios, and always we're presented by the Baton Rouge Rougarou. Go to brrougarou.com and get your tickets for this upcoming college summer baseball season. Lots of great developments behind the scenes for the Rougarou this summer.
Ronnie, I know y'all dropped the link to the Rougarou store the other day. I went in and bought a T-shirt so I could see how it worked and all that good stuff, and got me the nice black shirt with the logo on the chest, black T-shirt looking thing, and it was great. Hey, people got to get to that. It's at brrougarou.com. There's a link there, the store over at Marucci. It's really cool. A lot of things to choose from, a whole lot.
Yeah, go on any of the social media platforms, particularly Facebook and Twitter. Give us a good follow at Baton Rouge Rougarou, BR Rougarou.
You'll look at that comment, Ronnie.
Yeah, thank you, Kirk. Appreciate it, buddy. We actually our website brrougarou.com is in the final stages of getting finished. We have we have a landing page you can go to, has some information on it when you get there, but probably about a week away, probably this time next week, the full website will be active with all kind of updated info. It's going to be really, really nice. And on there, you'll be able to, link right to buying all the merchandise. In the meantime, you can find the actual link through our social media. Just go to any of our social media. We'll have the info on there. We'll be reposting it every couple of days or so. All right. So today, before we get started, please like and share this video, like and share it to the different platforms that you're on. And today we're going to get into talking, of course, LSU baseball. Big win last night, game 1 of the series. Last week they played a Thursday, Friday, Saturday. This week they're playing against Missouri, a Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And Mikhail Hilliard, you told me before the season, he with all the arm talent this team had on paper before the year, that he was going to be your Friday night starter and doing a good job at that. I would have thought you probably were drinking too much at the Ice House, but that is the case. Mikhail had his best outing of the year last year. He went 7 innings in that. Mikhail went 7 innings and was outstanding. Tommy only gave up 2 runs through just over 100 pitches, so that's a good sign for him. He'll get a start next Friday. They'll go back to Friday, so get an extra day's rest. The Pelicans in action tonight. Tonight at a sold-out Blender today and tomorrow. So Sunday. So game 3 and 4, hard sellouts for the Pelicans. They find themselves as a 2-point dog at home against the Phoenix Suns. That place is going to be rocking, and I'm looking forward. Joel Davis and I will be in the Blender Sunday night. I'll be wearing my earplugs, sitting next to Joel. Nothing to do against the Pels. Also, the Zurich is going on down in New Orleans. Sam Burns, who's in there, he's playing with Horschel. They are -10, just underway today, so they're in the mix. Is Cantlay and Scheffler -14. Scheffler in the
Xander
Schauffele.
Yeah, we got too many SCH names.
Yeah, I mean, who's Scheffler playing with? I wonder who's playing.
He's out there.
But Cantlay and Scheffler -14 in the 4-ball yesterday, where you and your teammate play the hole. Whoever's got the best score, that's the score you take. So only 18 holes in golf, and they birdied 14 of them, or maybe eagled something in there. That's pretty amazing round. Burns and Horschel were 9 under after yesterday. That's not bad. Also, did you see the Mike Tyson video out there? It's all over the world. We'll tell you about that. I have a take on that. Unfortunately, regardless of I'm on Mike Tyson's side on this, got into an altercation on a plane, but it's going to cost them a lot of money nonetheless. Ross Dellinger wrote an interesting article that TK will talk about. And anything else, any questions that you pop up on us. Let's see what Kirk has to say this morning. If LSU can play like that every day, that team can go places, but the wheels almost fell off in the 8th. Why does this team always get snake bit 1 inning per game? Hey, the bottom line is that I thought, as much as I can't stand these long ball games and whatnot, I thought Jay actually did a pretty good job with how he handled the pitching. I think he yanked them right at the right times, right before you allowed them to be worse or have a problem. Gervais is so good right now, and this guy is making a lot of money for himself, Tommy. Like, he is going to be climbing and climbing and climbing in the rankings with the scouts, especially with that size and upside potential. The problem is that, you don't want to really have to bring in Gervais too soon, so that he can't pitch again this weekend. If you'd have let him just come in and throw the 8th and 9th, depending on his pitch count, he would have probably been burned for tomorrow or tonight, and then and been hampered for Saturday. So they're trying to minimize these guys' loads so that they can throw 2 or 3 times in a weekend. But Raiselman and Cooper weren't as sharp as they normally were. They had to give it to Gervais, and he just slammed the door like he's been doing.
2 things jumped out at me, Ronnie. No errors, no walks by Hilliard, okay? David DeLucci, who was one of the announcers on ESPNU, talked about before the game, you can't make errors, you can't give guys extra outs. Well, they didn't do that last night. Didn't make the errors, didn't walk anybody. Hilliard didn't. So that's a good recipe. And then, of course, you get 3 hits, 2 homers by Berry, 3 hits. Morgan hits the ball well. I mean, you saw the bats, you saw the defense, you saw the pitching. And that's the 3 pieces we've been trying to see if they can put it all in the same night. Now, Missouri's not a real good team, but, they were out there battling and competing, and they'd won 3 or 4 straight coming in, so they were feeling good. So game 2 tonight, LSU's got to turn the page and get ready for the Tigers of Missouri tonight, and you'll be on that call. That'll be great.
Yeah, looking forward to it. This is a big situation where LSU has to win this series to get themselves back to 500. If you can sweep, you finish 1 game above 500. They're going to definitely need that. Remember, this on their schedule, the final SEC weekend. So there's only 14 games left to be played for LSU. The final 3 are on the road Thursday, Friday, Saturday at Vanderbilt. That's not where you want to end up having to go there to try to win a series, to do something for postseason or, jockey. You'd like to kind of, get on a heater right now before you get to that final series to where, hey, if we by chance win 1 or 2, it helps us not. We got to win 2 or sweep.
Well, looking at the crystal ball, you got Georgia coming to town next week. They're really good. So you got to get all 3 from Missouri. I know I'm getting a little bit ahead there because game 2 is tonight, but you got game 1, turn the page. Go get game 2, and then go get game 3. It would be great to get the 3. They got to go down to New Orleans next Tuesday night to take on the Privateers, play Dean's team, and then you got Georgia coming to town, as you said, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and that's going to be tough. I mean, if you can get 2 out of 3 there, they're going to be put themselves in a good spot. If they can start playing their best baseball like they did last night, we could see some good things.
So when it comes to LSU baseball, last night I thought, what's his name? The transfer hitter from Arizona. I'm just drawing a blank. Berry, my goodness, had 2 home runs last night. He's now got 12 home runs on the year, Tommy. And when you look at what Berry did last year, by the way, last year at Arizona, he was a DH, the entire year. And so they knew, that was part of the deal. You come over here with us, we're going to let you play defense. We all know he's probably a DH in the major leagues, or definitely not a third baseman in the major leagues. But they're giving him an opportunity to play. That was what they agreed to. You come here, we'll let you play defense so that he can become a first-round draft pick or something like that, and he'll sign. Offensively, Tommy, when you watch his approach to hitting, it is so professional. I know we joked and talked a lot about Chris Reed being a pro hitter, when he was here at LSU. His senior year, by the way, he had 250-something, and we called him a pro hitter. But when you look at Berry, just his technique, the minimalization of his movements and form and his eye, and he'll take that pitch just off the outside corner. I mean, he has got major leaguer written all over him. This guy's going to play a long time as long as he stays healthy as a left-handed hitter. And those home runs he hit last night, especially the first one, I didn't think it was going to be a home run at all. Off the bat, I thought, okay, a 2-hopper off the wall. Next thing you know, boom, enough backspin on it. It lands, 5 rows up the bleachers. I mean, I couldn't believe it. But this guy, he squares up baseballs and doesn't hit towering shots all the time. A lot of those homers are just bullets.
Yeah, no, he's good from both sides of the plate, and he's got power on both sides of the plate. That's unique. Some of your switch hitters who have power kind of have a little bit more power on one side or the other. But he's the real deal at the plate, and, he's going to be fun to watch. If he starts heating up, 2 bombs last night, also had another hit, look out. He's the guy that the other pitcher's saying, okay, he's on deck. We got to worry about him. I better not let this guy in front of him get on. He impacts the guy in front of him and back and behind him in the batting order. and only the very best players do that.
His batting average right now, 365. 365 with 12 home runs on the year, and obviously still a ton of baseball left to be played. Chance throwing out bouquets to Hilliard is a great example of perseverance. No question about that. Mikael Hilliard is a guy who, because he was a local guy here in Baton Rouge, Tommy, I think it allowed him to stay with it. You know, if he was a kid from California, after, you know, when things started to go a little down after his freshman year, when he burst on and did some nice things, he might have transferred. But because he, you know, a local kid, it means a lot for him to be an LSU Tiger. Unfortunately, we know he had the tragic passing of his father last year, and you know the community is rallied around him. You know, the other players, folks, and all that. And I think he stuck with it, and he's been rewarded for patience, which is not a virtue that athletes in college have anymore. And the fact that he's got a love for this school and university, we're now seeing it come to fruition. And these stories, the Mikael Hilliard stories, the Darius Days stories, where you know a guy plays 4 years or something and sticks it out through up and down times, those are going to become fewer and far between.
That's going to go away. But look, this guy was a part of 2 state championship teams at Central High School with Coach Mike Forbes. You know, he's been in a lot of big things. And as Chance said, his perseverance. I mean, to just keep grinding, keep working, deal with the loss of his father. And you know, he's the best pitcher they got right now. I mean, he's the Friday guy. He's the hammer. He's the ace, whatever you want to call it. And, you know, his outing last night was top notch. And it was against an SEC team, not a team in the top half of the SEC, but it's still an SEC team who had some guys with some pretty sporty batting averages and had a couple of guys that hit some pretty good, you know, some long balls from Missouri. So Hilliard got it done, and we'll see how they can do tonight in game 2.
Good news is Paul Gervais, in an inning in the third last night, came in, got the save. He's only threw 12 pitches, so he'll be good to go. Give us a Skip story, please, with Skip telling it. Had a great time last night, by the way. I didn't work the game last night, working it today and tonight and Saturday. Had a chance to watch the game with Skip. We sat in the Champions Lounge for about half the game, then went upstairs to one of the suites for about the other half and had an awesome time. He was feeling good last night, and, you know, sharp as a tack. And so we FaceTimed a couple people.
So Skip, what would you comment on Mikael Hilliard and how he's got that breaking ball, Skip? I mean,
you know, TK, you know, we talk about this all the time. See, on first pitch, or is it first pitch? Is it second pitch? It's hold the rope radio. My bad. It's always tough for me to remember that. It's at Sammy's where they got the great crawfish. Listen, TK, you know, Hilliard, I don't agree with the chains and the stud earrings or the cross gold things. I would have never let Ranch wear that when I was the coach. But, hey, it's a different era these days. It's a different era, you know, where guys can wear whatever they want. See, Paul, he went with the clean-shaven look, but Jay doesn't care. Just wants to win games. I think Mikael Hilliard reminds me a lot of like a local kid, like a Patrick Coogan or Brett McCabe, who were very patient, waited their turn, and became great pitchers. Ooh, I like him a lot. All right, there's a little skip for you. All right, let's move on. Let's talk a little.
Hey, good stuff as always.
Let's talk a little.
I'm gonna sit with him tonight. You sat with him last. I mean, how lucky can he get? He's got you one night, me the next night.
I think he was luckier last night. All right, so the Pels are a 2-point dog, TK, at home. I know you won money on them on the first game, lost money on the second game. Don't sleep on the Pels, man. Coming home with a sold-out blender. Phoenix Suns are getting a little, you know, negativity. You know, Booker's, you know, do we know if Booker's playing or not?
He's out 3 weeks. No,
he's
That's a key story that Booker hamstring when it happened the other night. He left the game in the third quarter. They talked about we got to evaluate. We'll decide. He's out 3 to 4 weeks now. That's key. I mean, he's one of the best players in the NBA, certainly one of the best players on the team for the Suns, and that's big. And look, the sellout, Ronnie, I'll go ahead and say it. I've already got my money on the Pelicans on the money line.
Look, I mean, just because you're missing your best player doesn't mean you can't take care of business. Look at Dallas. They're up 2-1 on Utah, and you never know. But Devin, the timing of the Booker injury bodes well for the Pels because they are going home to a sold out crowd with the momentum. And all of a sudden, Phoenix has got to be like deer in the headlights look like, oh my God, we don't have our guy and we're going on the road. I mean, this is a fantastic opportunity for the Pels to somehow win a couple games at home and then, hold off what usually is a game 5 momentum surge. And then, and then you come back to New Orleans where you could possibly close it out. I mean,
well, look, put it this way, Ryan. It's the biggest professional basketball game in the history of the city of New Orleans.
Yeah, that's fair.
Never been a more important, bigger game, even when the Hornets/Pelicans had a couple of playoff series. This is the biggest game. You're playing the number 1 seed in the Western Conference. You got the storyline of Chris Paul, who's very close to Willie Green, the head coach for the Pelicans. You're going to have a sold-out blender. It's going to be loud. It's going to be nuts. It's going to be crazy. People doing the French Quarter Fest, and they're going over to the Smoothie King Center, or they're going to be at the golf tournament. Then they're going to the Smoothie King Center. A friend of mine's going to the game tonight. He said, I'm leaving early. I got to have to get down there early and get in my seat for this game. It's the biggest game, professional basketball in the history of New Orleans. And, Ronnie, I guarantee you, all NBA fans, everybody that follows the NBA, will be watching this game tonight. Because the Pelicans can win this game, it's going to get everybody's attention. Okay, they got some attention with winning game 2 the way they did in Phoenix. And everybody knows Booker's out. They get this game, and wow, you talk about a lot of attention to this team. And look, I mean, they're in a great spot. That's why I bet them on the money line. No guarantee that they'll win, but that's the best value, I think, tonight, with all the things we just mentioned, all the layers.
It's pretty incredible. Monty Williams is the coach for the Phoenix Suns, and I've got nothing but love and respect for Monty Williams for the job he did in New Orleans with he led them to the playoffs. Just a class act, well-liked guy in the community. There's nothing bad to say about Monty Williams. I'm happy for him that his career, that New Orleans wasn't, head coach in New Orleans wasn't it for his career. This guy's going on to be a tried and true pro. If things eventually, as they do, eventually they won't work out in Phoenix and they'll get rid of him some years in the future. But because he's now done it and did it in 2 places, he'll bounce back and get another job somewhere else. So this guy's going to be a lifetime NBA coach. And I think his demeanor and his, and the fact that he's got such class and dignity and well respected by the players, that's something that's super important in the NBA because players play for coaches they like and respect. If they don't like you, it's like a cancer in that locker room. It spreads, and you got no chance. I don't care how many X's and O's you know or what you've done in the past. If they decide they don't like you, they're not going to play for you. NBA basketball players are like girls' high school softball players. They have to like and love their coach. If they don't like and love their coach, they're not going to play well or they're going to quit. I mean, you see that all the time in high school softball. You'll see girls. We had 5 girls quit the team. This past offseason. Why? Well, our coach is a jerk. Where in baseball, you don't see that, right? You'll have guys go, yeah, we won. We were really good. I hate our coach, but they didn't quit. But women have to, girls' sports have to really love, respect their coach oftentimes, or they won't even play. That's how NBA basketball has become.
No, I agree. And Ronnie, there was a big poll on Twitter, and Twitter is what it is. People want to know are they enjoying the NBA playoffs without LeBron? Like 96% said they enjoying them because no LeBron. He's the most vilified great athlete ever. I mean, people just do not like him in any way, shape, or form. And it's a resounding, the NBA playoffs are great because he's not in it.
Good morning, Kirk. Good morning, Chance. Good morning, Stephen Miller. What's up? Morning, fellas. I saw Stephen Miller, great post that I think that he put or his wife put or something of him, with the great umpire stretch, over at first base, just doing such a good job. Great form, Stephen. Way to be locked in. Chance saying Willie Green seems to have respected the team as well. Yeah, I mean,
no doubt.
I think Willie Green, it's like a clone. Except I think Willie's got a little bit more juice. I think he's got a little more pizzazz, a little more fire to him than Monty does. At least outwardly, you see it, with his mannerisms and all. But they're very stoic, very similar, well-respected class acts, men of faith. But I think Willie, especially in year one, and usually you get a little bit more juice and confidence as you go on. I think he's got a little more fire to him than what you see. Pels in game 5, 5 games. Yes, thank God LeBron is not in the playoffs.
I'm telling you, Ronnie, it's amazing.
Okay. I will have a full report for you on Sports Source Daily Monday morning of my experience at the game Sunday night with Joel Davis. I mean, you're not.
Yeah.
Joel and I have never been to an NBA basketball game together. We are going to a Pelican. No, actually, I lied. We went to one when they were terrible and sat like third row with some Red Zone fundraising guys a few years back. But like we stayed till halftime, and then we went and ate. It was a group of us. We didn't really care about the game, and they were terrible back then. Joel and I are going locked in. I'm hoping maybe he'll go, no shirt off with Pelicans spray painted on his chest. We'll see what happens. But that said, we'll have a full report for you on.
Well, and if the Pelicans win tonight, which I think they will, okay, a little Sports Shorts Daily tip for you there, free tip. Joel's going to be even more nuts because they'll have a chance to go up 3-1 if that happens. So. Ronnie, I'm gonna when I hit my knees, I'm gonna say some prayers for you to survive Sunday night.
Yeah, thank you. The Zurich, how will you go? Will you watch? Like, where does the Zurich land for you in the scope with this 2-man format? Where does it land for you with other tournaments and throughout the year?
Well, it's unique with the format, and I think golf fans, it makes a little more interesting. It piques the curiosity to see the teams play. The players they're trying to win, and there's a lot of money on the table, but they're a little more relaxed because you got a teammate. Rarely, other than Ryder Cup and President's Cup, you don't always have the teammate, and here they do. And, I mean, it's pretty cool. And I know the fans are loving it down there. And all the announcers are raving about it. And it's unique. And I like the fact that it's in New Orleans. It gives New Orleans another flag to carry. Because, look, I've been at the PGA Tour event. I remember going way back in the day to Lakewood Country Club. And then, of course, the English Turn. And I have been to the tournament at the TPC. And I played all 3 of those courses. So that's kind of cool. But, no, it's the best golfers in the world. And if you go out there, it won't take you long to see why.
By the way, Stephen Miller, who's a regular, right, on all the sports talk radio platforms, is also an umpire on the side. He said, "Did you guys see the call at first base in the Orioles game yesterday? If not, I'll send it to you off air." I did not. Did you see it?
Here's the thing, right? Yeah. Trey Mancini beat out a ground ball, and he turned to the left, but he didn't try to go to second. Okay, and then the catcher was backing up the ball when it got away from first base. He ran and tagged Mancini as he's coming back to the base, and the ump called him out. Mancini went nuts because he did not make an effort. This is
right. He just turned inside to walk back to the
Here's what got him. So the ump said, "Look at the video." Well, they went and looked at the video, then they came out there and gave him hell. "We just looked at the video, and you're dead wrong. You couldn't be more wrong." And then, of course, Mancini gets tossed. Brandon
Hyde.
Hyde,
not a reviewable thing, I'm assuming.
No, it's not. Brandon Hyde, the manager, gets tossed. It's probably one of the worst calls in the history of baseball.
Wow.
And I would hope that ump would come forward and say, "Okay, I looked at the video, I screwed it up." It was that, that's an ump that's trying to inject himself into the story. Okay. Right. The guy, Ronnie, if Steven will send you the video, you could Google it and have it in 20 seconds. There's no way he made an attempt to go to second. And Mancini's been around forever. He's a veteran, okay? Survived the cancer, the whole thing. It's just a blown call. Then the ump has to go start throwing people out. Go look at the video. Well, they did. Guess what? You're still wrong.
So, talking about umpires for a minute, if you notice when you watch an LSU baseball game at home, there's so many reviews now. Every game I feel like there's at least 3 reviews per game. Would you say that's fair? It feels like,
last night,
more than one.
The plate umpire last night is a very good friend of mine. Okay, in fact, he and I may get together today. But they had a review last night. It took forever and ever and ever. I mean, make a decision, somebody.
So here's my takeaway on that, and I'm saying this, and you got to keep in mind when I'm doing the game like tonight when I'm doing the game, the same producers and everybody that I'm doing the game with are also the ones that are feeding the information down the line. In an SEC case on the weekends, it's feeding it to Birmingham. So here's the thing I don't understand is why can't you have someone assigned to either watch the games, or let's say you don't have enough umpires to have a fifth umpire for every game that's going on. And, I get that. Okay. You got a master control up there in SEC play rather in Birmingham. So at the most you're going to have is 7 games going on at one time. And rarely do you have 7 going on at one time. Okay. Most likely that's a Tuesday night that you would have 7, and they don't review those in Birmingham. So they do them locally. So let's say on the weekend you've got a game going on. Well, you should have a master control, and whenever there's a close play or a reviewable play that's like in Baton Rouge, they go, okay, we're going to review this one. Then bam, you automatically hit a buzzer. You automatically, you have a hotline. I'm sure there's someone in communication in the producer booth with Birmingham. So you immediately say plays under review. Before the umpires ever go off the field and make it to the locker room, that play should have been looked at 3 times already. So what I don't understand is, why is there not a system? We can have earpieces in the headsets of catchers so that we can speed the game up, so that coaches can say fastball away, and we don't have to give signals and them steal the signals and all that stuff. And why can't we have an earpiece in 2 of the umpires, the crew chief on third base or whatever, and the home plate guy have an earpiece, and then so when there was a review, they stay on the field. The guy looks at it a couple times, and he comes back and say, play stands, plays change, whatever the information, and then they go, all right, guys, this is what happened. We play ball. Like, it's so much of a waste of time. It's ridiculous. And they don't, and by the way, in major leagues, the umpires on the field don't go watch the call, and make a call. There, someone in the booth is telling them what to do in the major league. So why isn't it the same way in college? And they don't even need to walk over to Ted Stickles to get the headset on. Like, just have an earpiece in their ear talking with Birmingham, or give them a walkie-talkie, whatever. It just, come on, guys. Let's. The play happens. It's reviewed. We make a call and we move on. I mean, these 5-minute reviews are crazy.
They're not taking advantage of the tremendous technology that we all have. Okay, and money's not an issue for the SEC, so I don't want to hear that thing. Okay, remember, Ronnie, I worked for the SEC umpires the first year of replay. Now, I had nothing to do with reviewing it, and I didn't say one word about it, but it was clunky back then. So you would think, and that was 2016. So you would think by now, 6 years later, that, it would be a better system. I'm like you. The plate umpire last night, Mo Hodges. Okay, the play's being reviewed. He's the crew chief. Mo steps to the side, takes 2 steps to the right, puts his mask under his arm, and he listens. And they say, okay, Mo, we had a bang at first base. We've reviewed it. The call is correct. Or no, Mo, you got to overturn the call, put the guy at first. So it seems like it could be simpler. They got the money, they got the technology, they're not using it.
All right, he's Tommy. I'm Ronnie. Tune in tomorrow morning for Sports Shorts Daily. Excited. We're going to be at Mr. Carter's Barbershop in Prairieville. Mr. Carter's Barbershop in Prairieville, right on the left as you're coming from Baton Rouge, across from the Walmart. You need to go by there, check it out. It's going to be awesome. We'll be at the bar inside Mr. Carter's Barbershop. If you need to get a haircut, going by there tomorrow. They do fantastic work. Thanks for Rachel for tuning in. Thanks for, Steven, Bayou Bengal, all the gang. Chance, go ahead and like and share this video. Have a great Friday. Tune in tonight, LSU, Missouri, 6:30. What time? 8:30 tonight at the Blender.
8:30 tonight and Sunday, 8:30. Yeah. So you got plenty of time to prepare for Joel.
Yeah, you can watch a little
LSU game that day. So you're going to be like in preparation mode. Ronnie, you could prepare by coming to Tremonti's and getting the lunch special. Fried catfish, topped with crawfish etouffee, a little fried bread. I know you'll like that. Some salad. That's what's going on today. They'll have barbecue ribs for lunch tomorrow. Boiled crawfish will be out about 2:30 today. Got a big catering order going out with meat pies and boudin wraps. Tremonti's Meat and Seafood. If you haven't been in here, you need to stop by. There's a lot more to this place than meets the eye. On Jefferson Highway, right down the street from Parkview Baptist Church and School. You need to check out Tremonti's Meat and Seafood.
All right, gang, we'll be back on Monday. Until then, stop by LeBear's and bet at the brand new sportsbook on the Pelicans tonight, +2. Tommy told you to take it. We'll be back on Monday. Until then, have a safe one.